because in 2 Samuel 9, David says, is there still anyone who's left of the house of Saul that I may show him kindness for Jonathan's sake? Eventually we see this. There in verse 3 it says, then the king said, is there still not someone in the house of Saul to whom I may show the kindness of God? And Ziba said to the king, there's still the son of Jonathan who's lame in his feet. And at this point we see that now he's aware that there is this Mephibosheth. And so he now, comes and as he says, all right, I want you to send and get Mephibosheth. Mephibosheth comes before a king and he says, man, I think I'm going to die. I think he's going to wipe me out. And he doesn't. He honors him. So much so that what it is this, that David comes and he says in verse 7, do not fear, for I will surely show you kindness for Jonathan your father's sake, and I will restore to you all the hand of Saul your grandfather, and you shall eat bread at my table continually. There's a blessing because of what? Because of who he knows, because he's related. And because he's related to Jonathan, guess what? He gets all the blessings. And eventually he's there in David's house, he's there in everything else. And what's interesting is verse 13 of 2 Samuel 9 gives this incredible commentary. It says this, so Mephibosheth dwelt in Jerusalem. He ate continually at the king's table, and he was lame in both his feet. Do you understand that he's still lame? And he has this privilege. He's still lame, but he has this blessing now. And I think what happens is this, even though we begin to say, all right, I know, God, you created man in your image. I know that we're at this point of seeing that death is here. And now we begin to note one thing here, that where this death reigns, it comes in. And now verse 13 and 14 says this, for until the law, sin was in the world. So sin was in the world even without the law. And so when it comes to this, it says for until the law, sin was in the world. Make a note of that. Sin was in the world. There's a question that comes out, and I think it's important to see where eventually there's this question in verse 14 and verse 15 of Romans 2 asks this question about the law. And it says this, for when the Gentiles, Romans 2:14, who do not have the law, by nature do the things in the law, they themselves, although not having a law, are a law to themselves, who show the work of the law written in their hearts, their conscience, also bearing witness, and between themselves their thoughts accusing or else excusing them.